Hi, and welcome to the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce Member Connection. I am your host, Eric Knowles. Before we get started, a word from one of our supporters.
Miami-Dade College has career paths in anything you want to be. What's your story? Be global. Be cutting edge. Be inventive. Be investigative. Be a hero. What do you want to be? Be the best. Be you. Be MDC.
Hi, and welcome back to the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce Member Connection. I am your host, Eric Knowles, and you already know the deal. As we create opportunities for economic and social transformation, we provide that opportunity for our community, for the members of the chamber, and for the community at large, because we provide technical assistance each and every day. You don't have to be a member of the chamber to get that technical assistance, so reach out to the chamber. You can reach us at 305-751-8648 for that information, or you can go to our website at m-dcc.org to learn more about the chamber and the things that we do. And as I said, I'm excited. This person is such a dynamic individual, such a giving back individual in our community. Had the opportunity to meet her several years ago, and when she became a part of the chamber, she is the chamber, not just a member of the chamber. She gives back. I'm gonna let her tell you. Dr. Delvina Thomas, how are you?
Oh, I am great. Thank
You're
you.
probably tired
I
because
am tired.
you are a world traveler. I don't think there's any ground that you haven't stepped on pretty much in the world. You are a colonel in the Army Reserve. You are a psychiatrist, board certified
Mhm.
psychiatrist,
Mhm.
excuse me, because there is a difference, folks. Psychologist versus psychiatrist. She's a doctor. And, but yeah, I know you're a little tired.
I am. I guess because my son now is 29, I
Okay.
have displaced or sort of transferred that energy to other projects in my life.
Okay. So the fact that
Um,
he's 29, you don't have to focus on him so
yep,
much.
it makes
So,
it a lot easier.
okay.
Yes, yeah. So if you're a parent, our primary job is parenting and rearing our children. And as they get older and they become more independent, it leaves you a lot of space to do different things and to be creative in life. So that's just what I've been doing, trying to be creative, pass the time, help other people, broaden my own horizons, and just explore and see what's out there.
Right. And you're a world traveler in that. Now, you probably just got off a plane and the day or yesterday or a couple of days
Mhm,
ago. Um, but you run a successful practice.
mhm.
I know you do. Over the years, we've talked about the work that you do. You go into the prisons a lot. And obviously, you are in the military, and you also engage with military personnel. Talk about your practice.
Yeah, so DRT Behavioral Services PLLC, it was created in 2013 after spending about 8 years with the Federal Bureau of Prisons. I was the chief psychiatrist for the Department of Justice and opened this practice. We grew the practice from three, four, five people to over 30. We have two locations here in Florida, and we're opening a third on the beach in Oakland Park. So we have one wellness spa and we have our medical practice. And this third location is on Oakland Boulevard East. It should be open this summer. It's
Okay.
also a wellness spa. And we opened an office in Texas, in Dallas, and we have one that's opening in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
So when it seems like I'm traveling and I'm gallivanting around and at times I'm exploring real estate and checking out
Opportunities.
locations and opportunities. Yes, sir. And meeting with individuals. I do a lot of consulting work as well. The Geo Group Inc. has become a big part of my life
Geo Group
recently.
Inc.
Yep, the
What is
Geo Group Inc. They are a diversified company that specializes in basically opening, managing, sustaining, running correctional facilities across the globe. We have
Okay.
48 facilities here in America, and we have a facility in South Africa, the United Kingdom, and Australia. So I am their corporate psychiatrist. So I
Oh,
help
wow.
to recruit their psychiatrists, their psychiatric nurse practitioners, and maintain the force. Of course, assisting them with challenging cases. And also, it's almost NFL season. Everyone knows we just had the draft. So I'm a consultant for the NFL too, and that's
Oh,
actually become a little bit busier than usual.
okay. Speaking of the draft, I'm sure there's a lot of conversation that just went on in terms
Yes.
of Mr. Sanders and
Whew.
how that draft went.
Yeah.
And I saw just yesterday where Boomer Esiason,
hmm
a former quarterback, was saying that all the owners took Mr. Sanders off the board.
Mm. Yeah. So I watched the first 3 days attentively, and I said to a friend when he did not get drafted that first round, I said all of the owners have conspired and agreed that they would not draft Sanders. They would not draft Shador. I didn't think they were going to draft him at all. And of course, I have a couple of friends who are agents, and they were like, no, he'll get drafted. And they agreed that they were just trying to teach a lesson to Dion and probably to Shador. I went to a couple of Colorado games, but as far as being in his space, being around him, I have not. So I don't know if he is a duplicate of Dion
Hmm.
or if he's too young to become his own person. He's not his
Right.
own person yet. But I think that sometimes Dion, he's very confident. He's very accomplished. He comes across at times as very pompous
Hmm.
and as having an overinflated sense of self. And sometimes that can seem like narcissism. And I think Dion packages it inside of Bible verses and Christianity to try and persuade us that it's humility and that he's being humble. Whereas I really think he kind of borders being a narcissist.
Okay.
And so when someone is a narcissist and they have children, their children at times can inherit or can develop certain traits that mimic that parent. I'm not saying he has narcissistic personality disorder, but I think he teeters. He's on the line. Shador, his behaviors, when I follow sports a lot, especially the NFL, and I read a couple of articles. In fact, I read one last night about a person who wanted to remain nameless. He mentioned how Shador would respond when owners and when coaches posed questions to him or asked him to explain mistakes that he made on the field, and he wasn't receptive. He told them, I'm paraphrasing, I'm not the one for your team, or maybe we're not.
Right.
Yes.
I did see that
Mhm.
I'm not the one for your team, et
Yes.
cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
Um,
So no accountability.
yeah. Um, and then we inter- interesting, we going down this road. And then, we get that other side of, it's the plantation mentality
Yeah.
of sports in
hmm
general.
hmm
And to your point that the owners, they came together and said, this is our world, and we run it, and we're going to show you that we run it.
Yeah.
And but we could spend probably a good hour on this conversation.
Yeah.
But we're going to take a little break. We'll be right back. This is the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce Member Connection. I'm here with Dr. Delvina Thomas, and we'll be right back.
Learn and earn today at Miami-Dade College. College graduates earn 56% more than high school graduates and $1 million more in lifetime earnings. A degree from MDC is your path to greater earning power and career success. Choose from hundreds of affordable high-tech and in-demand career programs, including cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, business, and nursing. Learn and earn today at MDC and fast-track your career. Enroll now at mdc.edu/purpose.
Welcome back to the Miami-Dade Chamber of Member Connection. I am your host, Eric Knowles. We're having a great conversation here with Dr. Delvina, talking about the NFL draft. But I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because we probably could be here for another hour talking about the both sides. I mean, I actually was in the NFL at one point. I was in the front office working with the Miami Dolphins and had the pleasure of working with the Florida Marlins. So I do understand a lot of the psychology behind that whole world. Some folks call it the plantation, modern day plantation. I'm going to stop. So what else is going on in your world? Because I know I've been on panels with you. I've served as master of ceremonies or the moderator of different events that you've had. Talk about, besides the fact that you are running a business, a clinic, you have spas. What else is going on?
I really like to talk about mental health and wellness to normalize the conversation.
Okay.
I think there's so much more to managing who we are mentally and emotionally, so much more than medication, so much more than psychotherapy. I'm happy that social media has helped to move the conversation forward in terms of interventions that people can use. Some of the things you see on social media are illegitimate, shall I say?
I mean, social media is so crazy. You don't know whether it's real or not real, especially with AI now.
Yep. Yeah. So some of the things you cannot take seriously in terms of what you should do to help your mental health. Case in point, video of a man setting a woman on fire on a massage table. That's just stupid. So yes, that went viral. But other things like learning about things like ketamine, learning about TMS, transcranial magnetic stimulation, learning about mushrooms, learning about how fresh air and hikes and things like that can serve us better, learning about how basically we can eat ourselves into certain illnesses, including physical illnesses and mental illnesses. So I like to try to educate. That's why we are doing those shows. I'm grateful to you for participating. Those shows help people to learn because everyone, we don't all learn the same way. We can't learn from reading books or sitting in a classroom. Sometimes people want to be interactive and they want to see our favorite people in the community come on a stage and be vulnerable, as you have been.
Right. You speak about learning, whether it's, from a textbook perspective or being interactive. I was an interactive learner growing up, being engaged and doing things versus sitting there and reading. I mean, you have to read and to comprehend certain things, but I do understand that. The other thing, sitting in and moderating some of those panels, it's interesting the dynamics in the individuals and the perspectives to your point that they have. And it runs the gamut.
Yeah. When you said that, just a couple of memories surfaced from some of these conversations and these panel discussions.
Right. And a lot of it, obviously, it's a lot of who you are, obviously, is from your experience, your upbringing, and what you were surrounded or what you were fed or what you were given. So it's not, to your point, what you eat, but what is also given to you mentally. And obviously that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. And, just a plug for people to keep in mind as they're raising their children. What we do, what we say, how we behave, those things matter and make a difference as we're creating this person. When you have a child, you are creating a person. You are making an individual. This child looks to you for everything. They look to you to model behaviors. They look to you to learn how to deal with stress. And so when you grow up in a home where maybe a mother or a father turns to alcohol or drugs, or they yell a lot, or they close doors, or they're not a good communicator, or there's no emotional intelligence in the home, that affects people as adults. So we have to keep that in mind as we're raising our children. And I think one of the things too that's been that manifest as something that's not productive, and it doesn't create a kind of individual, is when someone is raised in a home where there's no love, where there's lack of love, there's lack of affection, there's no hugging and kissing and telling your child that you love them. Those things can result in things like low self-esteem, low confidence, seeking love and acceptance, and seeking those things from people who really don't care about them.
Right. And I mean, today we are inundated with this device that we carry around with us, and children talk about
Mhm.
that. And I'm
Yeah.
sure you're dealing with that even from the adult perspective, how to deal with the children
Mhm.
who and I was talking earlier about we all use the device. It's a tool, it's a computer, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
As an adult, for the most part, when we have something to do, we know to put the phone down and do the work we have to do.
Yeah.
Where I see with children, it's like you're like, oh my God, I got to put the phone down.
Yeah, man. Listen, children are easily addicted and easily abused devices. When you think about it, their brain is not developed. If you place a little computer inside into a child's hand, who does not have a fully developed brain, has not learned how to deal with different challenges mentally, and you give them something to hush them or to distract them, or it becomes addictive for them. I don't know the most recent statistics, but there is a significant amount of children and teens who are addicted to devices. My recommendation, and it's the highest recommendation, is that no child should have or have access to a smartphone before high school. A child in elementary school, sometimes I see these kids walking around with these devices, and I'm like, what a waste of their brain. You're not teaching them anything. Engage them, have them color. Something as basic as sitting at a table in a restaurant. When my son was being raised, we go to a restaurant, they would give him crayons and a piece of paper,
Right.
and he would color. Coloring is a way to be imaginative. It's a way to fantasize. It's a way to be creative. It's a way for hand agility, eye coordination. So, as basic as it seems, it is something that's very much needed, not looking at a device.
And to your point, you go in a restaurant and you see a toddler, 1, 2 years old, and they got a pad
Yeah.
because it's controlling.
Yeah, and it's
And
lighting up all those little areas in that toddler's brain, especially in the dopamine pathway. We talk about the dopamine pathway, which is the feel-good pathway. That's where all of us, whenever we experience something, whether it's eating it, seeing it, hearing it, feeling it, if we experience something that's so powerful and gives us that euphoria, that feel-good feeling, it activates that pathway. These children are being activated early in the pathway, and at times in overabundance. So what will eventually happen over time is what happens with someone who abuses drugs and alcohol. You'll start to burn out those centers because the brain is always firing, firing, firing. And they will stop learning how to make adjustments when they feel sad or when their mood is low, or their brain
going through
won't be able to give them,
withdrawal.
they won't be able to give them that bounce back either, because you have basically, it's almost like someone who's addicted to Molly, ecstasy, crack cocaine. They burn those receptors so quickly. Dope, such as heroin, they can tap out those receptors so easily that even after, let's say, 5 years of sobriety, it's hard for them to regain their sense of self or return to their baseline in terms of their mood. They oftentimes feel like they're battling depression all the time, and it's because where once that area, the dopamine area, had this active range of sensation and responses. Once they began using drugs and these other substances, maybe the range is this. So they can never get back to where they once was because they have burned out that circuitry.
You know, I, you've taken me so many places. I don't even know where we are in our conversation. Um,
Addiction, kids, devices, dopamine.
are we like, did we do 20 minutes already?
I don't
No,
know. I
we
don't
did.
think so.
I don't think so either. We're
I'm
still
guessing
in our
we're
first
around
10.
12 or 13 minutes.
I'm just so wrapped up in everything that you're saying. We'll be right back. We're going to take a little break and hear from one of our supporters.
Today, I stand before you a proud graduate of Miami-Dade College and the 5th president of the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce. I'm honored to return to the college that prepared me to become a leader in our community, providing an education second to none. So I'm asking you to please tune in every Monday at 12 noon to the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce's Member Connection, as I interview members of the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce on our Facebook page at Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce or our YouTube channel, Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce. To learn more about the Chamber, please go to m-dcc.org or call the Chamber at 305-751-8648.
You know, I'm having so much fun with Dr. Delvina. Anytime we're together, when we're talking. I'm sitting here having so much fun with Dr. Delvina, you know, whether we're working or we're out whether we're fishing
Or trying to golf.
or playing golf. And, you know, this 20 minutes went by so quick. You know, if someone wants to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
DRDEL, V as in Victor, ENA. Social media, Google me, it'll come up.
And Brain Love?
And Brain Love, you could put in DRT Brain Love. DRT really stands for Delvina Renee Thomas.
Okay.
That's the company, DRT Brain Love.
And if you want to know more about the Chamber and you want to come and have some fun in our studio, you can reach us at 305-751-8648, m-dcc.org. Thank you for tuning in.